Hey guys, it's Nitro here, and today I'm going to go over Mythic plus Beast Mastery Guide. I'm only going to be going over the rotations and like defensives and utility. I will not be going over consumables or stat priority or anything like that. I'll be posting a link to the guide below, but this video guide is just going to be on rotation. So one important thing as a Beast Mastery Hunter is to have macros for the majority of your offensive abilities. The AI for like if you just like right click and have this be on default isn't great, so you want to be having all your your damage cooldowns. You can see here I have all of these macros for my offensive abilities, just so every time I use my abilities, my pets are always using their focus, my pets are always using their abilities, because if it gets delayed, you're going to be losing out on damage, and your pets do a lot of your damage as Beast Mastery. So right here is the AoE opener. Now it's a priority system like any other spec. So one thing is you want to do is right here with Barb Shot, you get a frenzy stack. So right here, I have one frenzy stack, and that's important. You want to keep up, and it stacks up to 3. You want to be keeping that up to 3 at all times. That is very important, because that will just maximize your damage. When you have 3 frenzy stacks, your crit damage is increased by 9%. So that is one of the important things. You also want to be using Barb Shot on multiple different targets because it's a dot. I think this is not really common knowledge, but it's a dot, so you want to be using it on different targets. So the rotation opener, this is the AoE rotation opener, and it's pretty in-depth. So we have multi-shot. Multi-shot gives you beast cleave, which lets your pets just like cleave AoE targets. You know, your pets do a lot of damage. Barb Shot into Bestial Wrath, which is like one of your main damaging abilities, your big cooldowns. Increases your damage from you and your pet by 25% for 15 seconds. It also removes CC, so if you get CC'd and you need to break out of it, you can use Bestial Wrath. And then we're gonna want to use multi-shot again after that, just because of the cleave damage. You want to keep that buff at all times when we're doing AoE, the Beast Cleave. And then we have a Death Chakram into a kill command, into a Barb Shot on a different target, multi-shot again to keep up the Beast Cleave, another kill command, and then Wailing Arrow. This is preferred because it's a huge AoE silence, and it does some pretty decent damage as well. So this is kind of look like this. So we have a multi-shot. Oh, go pets. Into Barb Shot. Into damage cooldowns. Multi-shot. Chakram. Multi-shot. And you want to keep up that buff. You want to be keeping up Beast Cleave. You want to be keeping up Frenzy. You want to be Barb Shotting different targets. And then in the meantime, you want to use Kill Command. When you have Focus and you have multiple stacks. You want to always keep up Beast Cleave and Frenzy. That's kind of the 2 things you're balancing here. You can also spend 2 of your Barb Shots before Bestial Wrath, because you get full charges when you use Bestial Wrath. That's really important as well. And I'm doing 112k damage. It's nothing too crazy. It's not like marksmanship, although marksmanship did get nerfed. Rip double tap this patch. But it's gonna be a little bit more competitive in my opinion, because especially when you get the 4-piece tier bonus, Beast Mastery single target is the best. It beats marksmanship by a lot whenever you get the 4-piece tier, especially when you get the bow too, the bow from Razageth. So that's kind of the damage rotation. Now I want to go over utility because it's something that's really important. Hunters have a lot of utility, and you want to be some Trank Shot when mobs enrage. There's a Mythic plus Affix, I forget what it's called, but mobs enrage when they hit like a certain percentage. Like even this, you can, yeah, I think it's bolstering, yeah. So you want to be Trank Shotting when you can to dispel those enrages. For survival, we have Survival of the Fittest. It reduces all the damage done by you and your pet take 40% for 6 seconds. One of our biggest cooldowns. Intimidation, this is purely only for Beastmaster Hunters. It's like a stun. You can use it to interrupt as well. Charge Trap, I rarely use this, but you can, say if you're trying to kite and like the tank dies and like the mobs are low, or the tank just needs to kite a little bit better. But I wouldn't use this too much because it can mess up the tank's flow of things. Actually, the turtle, this one's common knowledge. It's like an immune, pretty much. You want to be using this as well whenever you can. I would also get a cancel aura macro for that. So, say you want to just use it for a second to block a huge damage. You don't want to have the full duration with just waiting there. You want to turn that off. So you get a cancel aura macro for that. I'll post it in the description below. This is what survival of the fittest looks like, by the way. Then binding shot. Binding shot is huge. It is a you throw that out, and it stuns enemies when they move. So after they move for a little bit, it'll stun them really strong. Our counter shot, this is our interrupt. And then lastly, as this spec uses camouflage too. So say you die and like there's a pack going around and you can't get back to the group, you can just use camouflage. Invises you and your pets. Now, one unique thing about Beastmaster hunters is that you have the ability to tame spirit beasts. I have 2 right here, and spirit beasts have pretty unique cooldowns. So my pet here, my owl, my Hedwig, has a spirit mend. It heals me and does it hot over time. So use this. I have a little heal right here. Nothing too crazy, but it's 5,000 plus 18,000 over 10 seconds. It's 23,000. That's like 8% of my health almost. You know, that's nothing too crazy, but it could be the difference between living and dying. Also, we have Spirit Pulse. This is from my little tiger here. And it is a cleanse. It removes 1 disease, magic, and poison effect. I don't do that. That's a healer's job. But no, you can use that if you are good with that. I personally don't use it at all. Probably should though. Oh, one other cooldown I have not mentioned yet is Fortitude of the Bear. Which is right here. Increases your maximum health by using your pet by 20% for 10 seconds. And instantly heals you for that amount. So for low, pop that. Gives us a heal, gives us some more health. I just got like 60k health. Really helpful. But you want to be using... Oh, and I even didn't mention Exhilaration. Exhilaration is a heal. It's pretty much like a health stone. Just heals you for a good amount of health. You and your pet. And then you have health pots. Do always have health potions on you. If you don't have a warlock, you need to be using health potions. It's just required, especially for hierarchies. Or if you have a warlock, you can use health stones. So yeah, though you have a lot of survivability as a hunter, you should not be dying that much in Mythic Plus, or even in Raid, really. That is pretty much it as far as rotation survivability goes. Also, your Wailing Arrow, it does damage, but it also has AoE silence, which is really strong. It's huge AoE silence. It's really strong in certain situations, in certain packs, certain dungeons, and it can really help your raid out a lot in your Mythic Plus group. You want to be using your silence on cooldown. Interrupts are really important. And that is pretty much the rotation for damage. Once again, I'll go over it really quickly. Use multi-shot, get your beast cleave up. You want to have that up at all times. Barb shot. You want to keep it in the friendly stacks. You want to use it on multiple targets because it is a dot. Beast of Wrath is your AoE. Again, multi-shot. You want to use Death Shock on cooldown. And then it's just using kill commands and keeping up your frenzy stacks, beast cleave, and that's pretty much it. As far as single target goes, like when there is a boss, it's pretty much the same thing, but instead of using multi-shot, we're gonna be using Cobra Shot instead. And you're gonna want to keep up those frenzy stacks as well, like I mentioned before. And that's really the only difference. So if you guys like this video, if it helped you guys out, please comment, like, subscribe. Only like 99% of you guys are not subscribed, so it really means a lot to me if you subscribe. It really help the channel out a lot. I plan on making a lot more videos for Hunter and WoW in general, and all kinds of games. So anyways, I'll see you guys next time.